Hello there. I'm, I forgot who I was. Hi. I'm Tracy Butts. I'm Dean of the College of Humanities and Fine Arts. And it has been a year already. And we're what is this, 21 days into the year? And I don't even remember who I am anymore. But yes, I'm Tracy Butts, Dean of the College of Humanities and Fine Arts. And today I am joined by Elizabeth Quivey, Executive Director of the North State Symphony. And we're continuing to talk about our theme of pivot or pivoting. I just want to begin by sort of reminding people of the definitions that we're working for here. Pivot as in to turn, but also pivot as in a person or a thing that is a pivotal or central part of an organization or an activity. And so, Elizabeth, I'm thinking here, right? I mean, we're still in the midst of COVID. And of course, with that, it has brought about a lot of changes and has forced us to do a lot of pivoting on campus. But my question for you is, in what ways has, let's say, COVID-19 impacted North State Symphony and maybe forced you all to pivot?
So a symphony orchestra, when folks think of it, and certainly how we think of it, is a group of 70 musicians on a stage in a concert hall full of 500 to 1,000 audience members. So that's kind of our normal context, and none of that is really the world that we're living in right now. So the North State Symphony definitely pivoted in a pretty big way, because the transmission, if you will, of our art form was just drastically changed, and the way we did it was not the way that we could continue to do it. So like pretty much every performing arts organization in the world, including theater and ballet and opera and all kinds of live performance, North State Symphony looked at a digital platform to keep not only music going, but to keep sort of the organization's presence in the community. Even though we couldn't physically be there, we could be there in a virtual way. So we found past content, videos that were from past concerts that we put out there. We did Zoom interviews, kind of like this one. And then in fall, we did a couple of studio recording projects of chamber music. And chamber music is music that is written for a small group of musicians, like 3 to 5 to 6 or so. It can be all different combinations, but that was what classical music was going to be during the last few months of 2020. So we went from a performance organization to really a digital media production company. That was our pivot.
Okay, so if you went to being a digital media production company, right? How and where might people find some of your content?
Well, so North State Symphony has a website, of course. So if you search for it, it'll pop up. We've also been pretty active on Facebook for a number of years, and on Instagram as well. And we had a YouTube account that we kind of didn't really know what to do with prior to 2020, which is sort of funny. But since then, we have been very, very active on YouTube, because all of a sudden that is suddenly our concert stage in a way. That is how to get our content out there in the most clean and direct way as possible.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll try to include a link maybe to your YouTube page so that
definitely.
people can find it, and if they make their way to
to subscribe to our YouTube page.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. So
Exactly.
subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put a link in. And what kinds of content might they find on your YouTube page?
We're trying to put out most of what we do on YouTube. So there are videos of past performances that we've done, normal concerts in concert halls.
Okay.
And some of those have like a lot of views. So that's very exciting. And our new content includes our chamber music videos that we've produced as part of our season video series. It includes interviews with our music director and the musicians in our orchestra, so they tell their stories about their musical background and how they got to play in the symphony. There's videos of Scott interviewing composers and conductors from around the country, just having conversations about their musical lives and about how COVID-19's impacted and changed what they do. So there's actually a really good variety of stuff.
Oh, good. Now, sometimes when I go to a site for the first time and there's lots and lots of videos, I wish I had someone to tell me which one I should start with, or like, what's a good one that'll pull me in? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, what's a good one? There is a favorite. There are probably two different concert videos from previous years that are my favorites. We do Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, which is just a wonderful timeless piece of music. And then I think we have a Pops concert video posted that we did as a collaboration with a wonderful group of musicians in the North State Uncle Dad's Art Collective. And I really hope it's uploaded, because if it's not, then I'm going to sound really silly. But it's such a clever and creative performance, because the music was composed for the North State Symphony for this particular concert. And then some of the musician interviews are really special as well, because the musicians in the orchestra are our friends, and it's really nice to connect with them during this shutdown when we can't make music together. We can have conversations with them and hear their stories. So a couple of those are definitely my favorites.
All right, cool. Because, I think it's always nice to have a kind of landing place, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, I want to hear more of this, or I want to see, as opposed to just having to choose things kind of randomly and not knowing. So I appreciate that tip. And I'm definitely going to go look at the Uncle Dad's one, because I love Uncle Dad's.
Oh, so, Chico folks definitely all do.
I know. So I don't know. I'm curious. What do you all have planned for spring? I know that's a tough question, because there's still lots of uncertainty. But anything we can look forward to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think North State Symphony, looking back over the last couple of months, have done a number of different pivots, just in response to just how things are going in the communities, as far as like health and safety considerations, and respect for not just our community's health and safety, but particularly our musicians and our crew who are involved in studio recording projects. So of course, our fall pivot was to shift everything to a digital platform. And we were still able to kind of sneak in some in-person activities and recordings as part of delivering music videos. We're doing another pivot for the first couple of months of spring. And that pivot is going to be trying to work with more of our musicians who are spread over a very large geographical area, but rather than bring them to one recording studio for a weekend and recording a video, we're going to work with them socially distantly from the comfort of their homes, and they're going to submit videos that we will edit together to create a truly, truly virtual product.
Oh, wow.
So that is our newest pivot. And if you'd asked us 4 or 5 months ago to do a project like this, we might have said, oh, it sounds like a lot of like technology to juggle and get used to. But now that we've been having to do this for a while, it feels a lot more doable than it did even just a few months ago. So we're still getting submissions of videos and ideas from our musicians. So I don't really exactly know what it's going to be yet, but the theme is conversations, which I think is really lovely for this time of year and for this particular pivot project. And it's one that we're going to expand upon later on in spring and turn into an education video that we're going to distribute to local schools and music educators.
Okay. So, certainly, you said a few months ago, you never would have thought of sort of using technology in this way. So I've been asking everyone, going forward, are there changes that you've made during COVID that you anticipate that you'll be sort of keeping?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is something that we've talked about even since the first couple of months of the shutdown was, wow, our world has changed and this is a response to it, but there are going to be positive long-term tools that come out of this that we can continue to use. And one of them is making sure that all of our concerts that are on a stage in a concert hall are recorded, because there are folks who are wonderful symphony supporters who may not be able to go to a concert because of bad weather or somebody's sick and they might miss out. So it's a wonderful, copyrights aside, it's a wonderful archive piece to have available for people who may not be able to physically attend a concert. There's we've done pre-concert talks for our concert video releases. And again, that's something that we could very easily do in a digital format, again, to reach people who may not be able to attend the talks before they see a concert. It's educational, really. So it is an educational tool there. Being able to interview musicians and, artist colleagues from around the country over Zoom is, that's a wonderful connection to have that we didn't have before. And it is a way to stay in touch with folks and a way to stay connected with the arts community and bring artists in a virtual way to North State audiences that might not have been as easy before due to travel considerations and schedules. It's actually a lot of stuff,
access, right? Such that you can make something available to people who previously didn't have access to those things is really a great move.
Access has been a big part of our conversation.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I guess in terms of wrapping up our conversation, and keeping with the theme of pivoting, can you maybe tell us in what ways is the North State Symphony pivotal, not just to, let's say, Chico State and the campus community, but to our larger service area as well?
North State Symphony is a special organization because it was formed 20 years ago from the merger of the Chico and the Reading symphonies. And, both communities are very distinct and unique, but both communities also have a very strong support of music and wonderful musicians in the area. And they both have great schools and great education systems, and music and orchestral music was clearly a very important part of both of those communities. And really throughout the North State, into Red Bluff and Oroville and Weaverville, it's a very rich area. So I think North State Symphony sort of serves as a mechanism for gathering all of those musicians and music lovers together in a central place, in a professional way, in a way that reaches not just people who go to concerts, but also filling roles in schools and in the education systems, and offering master classes and teaching and different kinds of education experiences to schools. So it has quite a breadth and depth of cultural offerings that it provides. And it's a community. A lot of our musicians are from this huge North State area. So it really is an orchestra, a community of North State musicians who are presenting this art form to the North State community members.
I'm glad you mentioned schools, Tim, right? Because I would also people, right, watch the videos with your children. You can take your kids to performances. It's a great way to help supplement what they're learning in school and to sort of round out their music education and things of that nature. And so, and might they find some of the things you do with some of the local area schools on some of your social media sites as well?
Not yet. Virtual offerings, especially in the education area, it's going to show up on YouTube. It'll be updated pretty regularly.
Then cool. Now wait a minute, and before I let you go, you are doing something with youth orchestra or something this spring, correct? What are you doing? Are you doing the youth? I'm getting it wrong, but help me out here.
I think you're thinking of our Young Artist Audition program. Yes. So that is a program that we do every year. It's an audition that's available to North State musicians, instrumentalists, and vocalists. And we've had some incredible students over the years who auditioned for a chance to perform with the North State Symphony in a future concert season. So it's always a really special time. This year it's going to be virtual, and that's been another pivot point for us. So we're still in the process of accepting applications and then audition videos, but the goal and intent is still the same, to be able to offer some award money to winning contestants, and then showcase those talented students live on stage in a future concert at some point in time.
Oh, cool. So,
Yeah.
you know, we still have time to audition.
Absolutely.
A young musician.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so I want to thank you, though, Elizabeth,
Oh, yeah.
for a lovely conversation. It was good to catch up with you.
Likewise.
Yeah, so you take care, and I'm definitely going to check out the Uncle Dad's and North State Symphony collaboration, and I will see you online and on social media.
Oh yeah, we're all over the place. Like us and follow us.
That's right. Instagram as well.
Instagram's great. Yep.
So, great. Well, thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Tracy.
See you later.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.